Are you ready?
Yeah, turn up the heat.
Are you ready?
Is he ready?
Oh, yeah, he's ready.
It's go time.
Ready to go beyond the scores and stats.
I love it.
Good.
Let's bring it in. It's showtime, right?
Welcome to High on Sports.
The whole deal is like some kind of crazy game.
Exclusively on MorningShowCentral.com.
Hello, and welcome to High on Sports. I'm Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Ashley.
And I am Von Erich.
and whether you are joining us tonight on one of the many glorious apps at home on your computer, thank you for making High on Sports a part of your evening. And, this is a mess. Anyways, we're going to power through it, though, because that's what we do. We persevere. We march on like Brian Hoyer.
Persevere? I thought it was persevere.
What?
It's both. It's both. You're making fun of my accent? That's racist. All right.
He's pressing the persevere option.
Thank you for listening to the show. Hasn't been promising so far, but I promise you we will get better. Remember, as always, you can call the show toll-free, 1-888-668-0742. Email your questions or comments to shows with an S at morningshowcentral.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/high-on-sports. The Twitter is at high_on_sports, or use the hashtag high-on-sports. HighOnSports.net is the website. It's got the archive of all our past shows, my blog, plus a new blogger. We'll talk a little more about that later. New presence on the blog section of HighOnSports.net. Archive our past shows, all that other fun stuff. It's just good fun, clean fun, too, for the whole family. Again, that is HighOnSports.net. All right, we have a jam-packed show here, so no more time to dilly-dally. No more fun. The fun is over for this week. It is business time.
Okay.
It is round one. Let's go. Anyways, obvious place to start this week. It would have been the Indians. We talked about this. The Indians deserve our attention. They really do. And I feel bad. We should be leading the show off with the Indians. They are currently in the lead for one of the wild card spots.
Technically, we just did.
And technically we are, so count it. But the problem is the Indians would be the top story if not for the biggest trade, at least football-wise, for this city ever. And that is, of course, you know it happened already. I mean, if you don't, then you clearly don't pay enough attention to sports, so you'd be listening to this. Or maybe you were watching the video game show and you can't find your laptop now and it's still running. I don't know. But, of course, Trent Richardson, former number 3 overall pick of the Cleveland Browns, starting running back, has been traded to the Indianapolis Colts for a first-round draft pick. And I've been
not a top 5 draft pick.
It's a first-round pick.
Indy's going to be a playoff team, so it's going to be mid to late 20s.
I've been very coy about my thoughts on this. If you know me on Facebook or on Twitter, all I've really said is sort of, I'm in disbelief. And anyone who said anything about it here before, today already, I haven't said anything, because I wanted my my opinion to be fresh and everybody see how I thought.
Please don't say you're okay with it, because I will punch you in the face on this show right now.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say I'm okay with it, but maybe I can sum it up like this. I am applauding you, Michael Lombardi and Joe Banner, for cutting loose dead weight and having the vision to not hang on to someone just because of pre-draft hype.
Nope, we're about to fight.
Absolutely the right move.
Nope.
Absolutely the right move. Listen, you know what's wrong with Trent Richardson? Trent Richardson is strong, he is fast, he is athletic, he can take a hit. Here's the problem, though. To play running back in the NFL at a successful, consistent rate, you need to know how to hit a hole. You need to, if you see an opening...
There's never a hole to hit! That's the problem! They're in the backfield before he even has the ball!
There's always an opening.
There's never a hole!
He has no moves at all. Come on. He's done 310 carries in his career as a Brown. 2 of them were for more than 15 yards.
He played half of last year with busted ribs. What do you want from the man? He was a rookie. What do you want from the man?
Oh my God! I'm telling you, they got more from him than he was going to give us by keeping him. Even if he became elite, how many running backs actually make a difference on a team? How many titles has Adrian Peterson won for the Vikings? How many wins
I'm
did
not talking
Jamal
to you.
Charles give the Chiefs last year? 2. Chris Johnson
Because
rushed
you
for
need a
2,000 yards,
balance.
and they didn't even go to the playoffs.
You need a good run game to balance, and then it opens up the pass game, and then you have a good pass game. Boom! Now you're a
Both of the
playoff
time
team.
that the Giants and Patriots met in the playoffs, they had no run game. When the Packers last won in the playoffs or the Super Bowl and beat the Steelers, they had nobody at running back. Running the ball is dead. That is not the NFL anymore. That is not how it works. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have anything. And this move was made to provide extra flexibility in this draft and realize that Trent Richardson is not a guy to build a team around. Even back in the day, LaDainian Tomlinson never won a Super Bowl once. And he had Drew Brees and he had good Phillip Rivers as his quarterbacks. And it got him nothing. Running backs don't do it. That's what I'm saying. And the basis of it is the question is, can you get the production you got from Trent by committee? Because that's infinitely cheaper and gives you more options. And ultimately is a smarter idea. The Browns, 17 total carries. That's counting one that was by Hoyer that wasn't necessarily by design. 17 total carries, 103 yards. That's a 6.1 average. Granted, added in there is a pretty big one from a fake punt where you have rookie corner Josh Aubrey actually ripped off a 34-yarder.
And Josh Gordon had a 22-yard run.
Josh Gordon got a 22-yard run.
So it kind of padded the run stats a little bit.
What does it matter if the receiver got a run? That's still
Because our running back sure as hell didn't.
They didn't need to. They won is the point.
Well, we're playing Minnesota.
So what? I mean, come on. Listen, and what did Trent Richardson do? What did he do in Indianapolis? He had that touchdown, which was a 1-yard touchdown.
He was in Indy for what, 2 days? How are you going to learn a system in 2 days?
I'm telling you, his stat sheet looked exactly like it has for the Browns for quite a while now. And that's nothing special. Jim Brown himself said when the Browns drafted him, he doesn't believe he's going to be an elite running back. And honestly, I was a little pissed off at Jim Brown for saying that, and I just thought he was jealous. But he's right. After seeing him, it's certain things. Listen, his ribs hurt. I get that.
His ribs hurt. Have you ever had bruised ribs? You can't move.
All right, come on.
I'm telling you, I've had bruised ribs. You cannot move.
He's sustaining these injuries, but it's even healthy. He doesn't have it going on between the ears. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to insult the man's intelligence, but he is not football smart. He has physical tools, but he does not know how to cut. He does not know how to hit a different gap. If they say go to the one hole, he goes to the one hole. If it's closed, he says, well, we're going down. If you put Trent Richardson...
Because there's never holes.
If you put Trent Richardson in the middle of a paper bag, faced him at the close end, and said, get out, he would die in that bag.
Oh,
he would die in that bag.
No, he'd run through it and be like, get off me, bitch.
His only hope was that he thought he was going to take hits from all 11 people and have the entire defense fall down. That's how he ran every play. I'll just run into all 11 of them.
Well,
it
when
didn't
there's
work.
not a hole to hit, you run them over.
It didn't work. I'm sorry. This was a smart move. Now, yeah, when you look at it, it's a failed investment in a sense of you used a 3rd overall pick and it's going to turn into a later pick. Sure, but again, you can't fault the people that are there that they used a 3rd round pick on Trent Richardson. He was not worth being the 3rd overall pick. He wasn't, and he's not going to be in Indy. It doesn't make a difference. He can't find an opening, and you could say, oh, the Browns didn't make enough openings. I mean, there were situations where there were. They opened this week's game on CBS. The win, by the way. There's a lot of yelling going on for a win, but either way, they open up with footage of Trent running right into crowds when it shows if he would have taken a step right, he could have avoided the crowd. He never avoided contact. He liked it. He got off on it. Like, oh, yeah, I'll take a punch from you because I'm tough as hell. Well, guess what the other guy's doing? Avoiding him and getting a touchdown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying he's bad.
You have to remember, though.
I'm just saying he's not elite.
It's only his 2nd year. 2 games into his 2nd year.
But what did he do that gives you hope? He was good in college. Colt McCoy was good in college. I mean, come on. How far does that argument take you? Well, it was his 2nd year. Oh, well, it was his 3rd year. Come on.
Wait until we'll see what he does next year. I'm telling you, because it's
next
only
year,
you
he
can't
ain't even going to be the number 1
You
in
can't fault a guy when it's only when he really only had part of a rookie season because he had busted ribs.
He's going to get force-fed
and then
the ball.
2 games into his second season.
He's going to get force-fed the ball the rest of the year in Indianapolis because they want to make it look like a good move. But Ahmad Bradshaw is going to be the better option the rest of this year. I guarantee it.
Okay.
Ahmad Bradshaw looked night and day better than he did. If you saw that game at all, it was ridiculous. Ahmad Bradshaw marched them downfield, and then Trent Richardson got it at the 1-yard line because they're trying to make themselves look smart. The Jim Irsay's and everything that used a first-round pick on Trent Richardson. This is the new NFL. There's a reason no running backs were taken number 1 this year. Everybody's by committee anyways. No one. There's no. It cannot work anymore where a running back carries you to the Super Bowl. Maybe to the playoffs, but if you look at, last year, the year Adrian Peterson had to get his team into a wild card, he had to rush for the second most yards ever in order to get his team to a wild card. Building a football team is like making a sundae, is I think the best comparison to make to it. You got some ice cream, right? You put ice cream. You got to put, hot fudge over that. Sprinkle some nuts, whipped cream. Maybe running back's a nice cherry on top. Browns are sitting there with a bowl full of whipped cream and nuts. They plopped a cherry on top of it and said, "Good day.
You know what?
We did it."
Sometimes you just want whipped cream and nuts.
There's no ice cream. Without ice cream, this cherry's sitting here like a little bitch not doing anything. Screw that cherry. If you can swap that cherry to someone else for some money that could turn into ice cream, maybe. Or some money you could barter with someone else for ice cream. Options, viability, versatility. This is going to be one of the deepest drafts in years, and the Browns are going to be primed to run this thing. And that's why...
I just don't agree with blowing it up this early.
I don't think they're blowing everything up either.
Really?
Like I said, not that there was ever hope of them going to the playoffs. That was never a thing. And the thing is, they're not blowing it up. They're not doing a tank job. They just know why sit here and waste material fighting for a 500 season. Now, the coaching staff is going to keep going for that, but the front office is going to look like it mathematically like that. They're going to look at it as, is this a team that can go to the playoffs, can make a run in the playoffs? No, it isn't. So what are you really blowing up? That's how I look at it. Obviously, the coaching staff is still going to fight, and they're still going to try to do what they do. The Browns' offense, obviously, it was night and day. Night and freaking day this week. When they actually focused on the pass instead of the run, and they actually had a quarterback that knows how to throw a ball. It was fun to watch Brian Hoyer. Granted, he had 3 picks, but that's the thing about this offense, going downfield, taking chances. There's going to be some picks like that. It's going to happen. One of those picks wasn't his fault. It was because his arm had gotten, as he was throwing, on that second pick, as he was throwing, his arm had gotten grabbed. So the ball ended up going way up in the air.
That was half of Whedon's problem. Greg Little couldn't catch a ball if you duct tape it to his face.
I'm so sure.
And it's like, that's how half Whedon's picks come from.
Sure, Whedon had 3 picks. And
he didn't have Josh Gordon.
At least one of them. That's true.
Hell, I could throw 6 touchdowns in a game if I was throwing to Josh Gordon.
Last year, Whedon had Josh Gordon, and I don't know. I'm pretty much giving up on Whedon.
Yeah, and he had 15 touchdowns last year.
Whedon, that it just looks like that draft 2 years ago was just not the right move on any part there. I'm trying to remember if there's a later pick at all. Anybody else that's still on this team?
We took an offensive lineman.
We did Mitchell Schwartz.
Yeah,
who's having a bit of an off year, but
I don't know. Our whole right side is hurt, so we have all backups in. That's why it's so terrible.
That's true. We got to get Schwartz is still in that right tackle, but either way, it's also kind of weird. Hoyer, by the way, first Browns quarterback to ever throw for 300 or more yards in his debut. So that was pretty interesting. 321 yards, 5.9 average, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. And then there was another touchdown pass on that day. My man, everybody who's throwing out your Richardson jerseys, swing on by the team shop, buy yourself a Spencer Lanning, Browns punter, who last afternoon, yesterday, he kicked an extra point. He punted, obviously, a couple times, and threw a touchdown pass to Jordan Cameron on a fake field goal. It was beautiful. Spencer Lanning, the man, clearly he does it all. There's nothing he can't do. I'm a little scared because Billy Cundiff, the Browns kicker, who hasn't missed yet, by the way, for everybody who was panicking and scared that they were signing Billy Cundiff, He does have a I don't remember if it's a quad. I think it's a quad or hammy, one of those two injuries. But he might not be ready to go this week either. So the question is,
we have no run game, no field goal kicker.
They don't need a run game. Besides, they had a run game, 103 yards.
Yeah, because you got 20 from a receiver and 30 from a punter.
So what? Go more end arounds. Throw Greg Little on some end arounds. Honestly,
what is Greg Little gonna? Oh, running. Yeah, he can run. I'm like, when's he gonna catch the ball? Then I realized we're talking about running.
Exactly. If there's a way that we could get him to play without touching the ball, sure.
He'd probably drop the handoff.
Now let's talk about something else. Another potential trade that could happen. I can't stress enough. I don't think this will happen. So everybody, calm down, relax. Is the talk of this Josh Gordon move? Now, that one I agree would be rough for me. The thing is, if they could get a first-round pick back for him, I would be upset, but logically, I could see where it makes sense. Because that's one where you could say fiscally, like, you turned a supplemental draft second-round pick into, an actual draft first-rounder. But anything less than that, even for a second-round pick, to me would just piss me off. Because the only reason the Browns are looking to shop him is it's nothing to do with what he does on the field. As you can tell, that is amazing. Although I'll admit, a little later in the game, people always make the comparisons to Randy Moss, a Randy Moss body type. I think he's got a bit of a Randy Moss attitude, too. Just some early signs of it. He seemed a little later on there to be plays where the ball's kind of ahead of him, and he just sort of looks like he's jogging, like Moss used to do, where it was Moss, if he knew it was a play that wasn't to him, he was kind of just, whatever, I'll just jog. But, I mean, it's, that's just me nitpicking. But either way, the only reason they're looking at this is because one more failed drug test, and he's suspended at least a season. We've talked about that before here on the show. And, I mean, at that point, it's over. If he fails another drug test, gets that year-long suspension, I mean, you failed, 3, 4, 5, depending on the reports you listen to in college, and then you come in and in your second year in the pros, you fail one? I mean, that's just boneheaded as all hell. If he fails again,
he's screwed.
It's just a wasted opportunity. Yeah. And that is the only reason that the Browns are, that rumor, Adam Schefter, by the way, of ESPN, his report comes out yesterday that the Browns are currently fielding offers and have a, quote, substantial offer on the table for Josh Gordon. But today, Rob Chudzinski says that there is no intentions at this moment to trade.
They can say no all they want. Doesn't mean they're not going to do it.
I'm just saying we've got two different opinions going on. I mean, two different,
people are shelling out offers for Joe Thomas, too.
They've said Joe Thomas is off the table. Joe Thomas. I mean, everybody shells out offers for everybody. People are off making deals for Peyton Manning right now. That will never happen. I mean, it's something you do. You at the very least shoot him an email like, hey, a couple first rounders for Peyton Manning. What do you say? And then you don't get a reply because no one's even going to waste your time talking to you. But that's what you do. You always ask about everybody. I guarantee the Browns could potentially have a deal on the table right now for Joe Thomas. They won't. They absolutely won't. And everybody who thinks... I saw a comment on a mock draft I was looking at the other day, and somebody says... It was a Dolphins fan. He says, I wouldn't mind swapping some first-round picks to Cleveland for Joe Thomas and potentially Joe Hayden as well, considering they're pretty much cleaning house. Why do people think they're cleaning house?
I don't know, because we got rid of our number 3 overall pick.
They traded a guy who has not created that great of production on the field.
Because he's been here a year.
Come on.
A year.
Yeah.
Rookie season. That's it. How can you say he's not living up to his hype when he's literally only played his rookie season plus 2 games?
So we keep going. Why? Because he was a high draft pick? How far does that take you? You talked about before, Jamarcus Russell. Don't you think maybe they should have waited a little longer on him?
He never should have been drafted in the first place.
Again, you're not faulting Lombardi on that one. You're
terrible.
You're not faulting Lombardi on Jamarcus Russell.
Really?
Everybody in the NFL wanted Jamarcus
I don't care
Russell.
No.
Yes, they did.
Everybody did not want him.
The Browns actually made a call attempting to trade up from, I think they were 3 that year.
And that would have been a terrible decision.
I mean, yeah.
Terrible.
Looking at it now. But Jamarcus Russell, how are you going to blame somebody for Jamarcus Russell?
Terrible.
I can't blame anybody for wanting to draft Jamarcus Russell when he's coming out of college.
Why? I didn't even like him when he was at LSU.
Well, good for you, but everybody in the NFL did. Nobody thought Jamarcus Russell was going to be a bust. Everybody had him circled number 1. You know who people thought was going to be a bust was Cam Newton. who's so far. Yeah. Absolute. Are you joking right now? We talked about on this show.
I didn't say he was going to.
Some mock drafts had him going late second round. Some people thought he wouldn't make the first round. Yes.
No, I knew he was going. I knew Carolina was taking him all day.
A lot of mocks had him not even going in the first round. Cam Newton was covered in question marks. Coming out of a college scandal where he basically got paid, although it was his dad.
I mean, that has nothing to do with your talent, though, getting paid.
Still, nobody wanted that. No, but there was a lot of reports going around that he might not even go till at least the second round. A lot of people thought he wasn't going to go.
It
was bouncing around that
field
day.
Issues.
It was
that has
bouncing
nothing to do
around
with
that
on-field
day.
issues.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, the NFL, they get stuff wrong.
Yeah, they're morons.
I mean, I applaud the Carolina Panthers on taking Cam Newton because there were a lot of people that did not think he should have gone number one. And the Raiders, I feel bad for. I don't scold them for going with Jamarcus Russell.
I do.
The Browns would have gone with Jamarcus Russell at number one.
And that would have been stupid.
Anybody that in the league that would have wound up number one pick would have taken Jamarcus Russell. Because you could say the obvious teams that wouldn't have, the Patriots, Colts, things like that, they wouldn't even be sniffing number one. Anyone that got to be number one would have taken Jamarcus Russell. If the Lions had been there, they would have gone with him instead of Calvin Johnson. That was that year, right? My math's correct? I might be off.
No.
Wasn't it? Was it?
Oh.
Were the Lions number two that year?
Dude, I don't remember.
I don't know. It's all so confusing to me now. But anyways, I mean that's the point. I don't fault them for that. But either way, I'm telling you, I think this Browns move. I think this was ultimately the right decision to make, because I think maybe maybe he does become something elite. Oh, you reading about Jacoby Jones fighting with a stripper?
By a stripper. Oh my God, she cracked him on a champagne bottle.
That was this morning too. That was Monday morning.
Oh my God,
If you don't know what she's talking about, Jacoby Jones from the Ravens, right?
Yeah.
He was on a party bus. He got in a fight with a stripper.
She
This
smacked
morning,
him in the
like
head
Monday morning,
with a
like take
champagne
it,
bottle.
like the little kiddies are going to school and stuff.
Well,
And
because
Jacoby
you
Jones
figure
is
it's
Sunday night,
Sunday
yeah.
night after football. Boom, everybody gets on the party bus. They go
Yeah.
out partying. So now it's technically Monday morning. Apparently, the stripper had enough of his shenanigans.
Apparently,
That's funny.
that is ridiculous. Getting attacked by a stripper.
Anywho, back to what we were arguing about.
Well, I don't think there's much more to argue about. I think it's ultimately something that's either going to pan out or it's not going to pan out. I think it was the right move to make. I mean, I don't think it was a move you necessarily had to make, but I just think him being here, I don't think it was going to propel the Browns any closer to getting to the playoffs or anywhere near any of the Browns, ultimate goals.
Yeah.
That's what I say. And I figure why not trade him now before he potentially gets to that bust level where you can say, okay, this was a massive mistake. I mean, because right now I wouldn't necessarily call it a mistake, but as time goes on, who can tell? Let's talk college, though. Something we all agree on here.
Ohio State kicking ass.
Ohio State, that wasn't even fair.
No.
Not even a little bit fair. When I posted on the Facebook page, which again is facebook.com/HighOnSports, which you should go like right now. I posted, hey, look, Florida A&M showed up for an Ohio State practice. 76-0. They beat the spread. Was it 76?
Yeah. 76.
Semantics. Either way, they beat the spread. The spread was, I think it was 56.
Yeah.
I think they were 50, 52
50
something.
years in the 50s.
50-something was the spread. So they beat the spread. So anybody that took the points, congratulations on your earnings.
Some money,
today.
money.
Who would have taken the points on that? Anytime I see a team favored by 50, I'm like, wait a minute. I mean,
smell
they'll just
corruption.
get tired. But either way, I mean, Kenny Guyton threw 6 touchdown passes, which is the most touchdown passes
In
ever
what, the
thrown.
first half?
Yeah, they were all in the first half. Most touchdown passes ever thrown by the.
Yeah, I don't think they threw a pass in the second half.
I don't know if they did.
They just kept running it in Texas A&M. Poor Texas A&M. I feel
Florida
like we just
A&M.
played them.
Florida A&M.
Florida A&M. Whoops.
Oh my God! If they beat Texas A&M that bad, that's all. That is just the news right now. That is it.
Yeah.
Like that is the only thing happening.
Whoopsies.
Trent Richardson, who? But no, I mean rankings. By the way, I have them right here. We'll go through them real quick, I guess. Yeah, 25 and on is Fresno State. People are thinking they might be the new BCS.
Ooh.
The last one is the last.
Oh, because
BCS.
they just beat Boise, didn't they?
They could be the last version of Boise State that kind of breaks into the party. The Sisters of the Poor. to quote former Ohio State President E. Gordon, whatever.
Well, we just played the Sisters of the Poor.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Texas Tech, Wisconsin, who the Buckeyes will play on Saturday night.
Going for 17
Notre
in a row.
Dame, Ole Miss, Florida is 20. Baylor, Michigan.
I want to know how Michigan...
Stop ranking Michigan.
Right?
Just cut it out.
They got a
I
break
feel bad for them.
beating Akron because of a bullshit call. And then they almost lose to UConn, who just lost to an FCS team or one of those
one of those pretend schools.
Yeah, they're pretend Division I schools.
They just lost to DeVry.
And and Michigan almost lost to UConn. They came back at the end and ended up taking the lead and winning. All right, why are they still ranked?
It's almost mean. Like we're making that BCS just making a joke on their part. Like, oh, look at you, Michigan, you're all ranked.
Yeah.
Like an adult. And
We're just gonna keep you up here just to pretend.
It's just kind of cruel, Like just stop messing with them. Just let them die in peace.
Yeah, because clearly they're not that
Northwestern at 17, Washington, Miami of Florida, obviously, Oklahoma, UCLA. Kind of surprising a lot of people here. South Carolina, Oklahoma State, home of the potheads. If you've been hearing any of these reports, apparently there hasn't been any laws in Oklahoma in I don't even know how long. They're just Mad Max times over there. You hearing all these reports coming out about when Les Miles was in there at Oklahoma State? They're talking about people cheating, people getting paid.
And then Des Bryant made the best comment. He's like, if anybody at Oklahoma State was getting paid, I'm pretty sure since I was the best thing to come out of there, I would have been getting paid.
No, Brandon Whedon's the best thing to come out. Just kidding. Texas, this is the top 10, by the way. Texas A&M. Number 9 is Aaron Murray and Georgia. Number 8, Florida State. 7, Louisville with Teddy Bridgewater, future Browns quarterback. You heard it here first. Number 6, LSU. Number 5, the Stanford Cardinal. Number 4, the Ohio State University. Number 3, Clemson. Number 2, Oregon. Number 1, Alabama. Ohio State, this is the problem with the Big Ten right now. Their schedule is not tough enough that they can leapfrog anybody on this list ahead of them without a little help from the team ahead of them losing.
Well, the problem is we can't get anybody to play out of conference to play us. Vanderbilt ran away scared and backed out, so we got stuck playing Florida A&M.
So we had to play against UniversityOfPhoenix.com.
Right? A middle school team. Jeez. Christ, I'm pretty sure we could have ran out there and beat Florida A&M.
I would have put up at least a field goal.
Right?
At least. All right, we're going to take a quick break. But when we get back, you're going to find out what's urinating us off. We're finally going to talk Tribe. We actually have a pretty big urinating off. It's a very special one, a conjoined one. It's just a really big deal. You'll want to hear that. 3 Up, 3 Down, all that and so much more. You listen to High on Sports on the MSC Radio Network.
User-friendly and ready to serve. MorningShowCentral.com.
I know, oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious, I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more. And almost taste Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits. A 9.5 95% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768.
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. If you have a product or service, let people know about it. Get your message out there and advertise on MSC Radio Network. It's easier than you think, and the whole planet is listening. Find out how you can advertise. Email Chris at morningshowcentral.com. MSC Radio Network has just tweeted the following. This bowel movement won't come out. Check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/MSC Radio Network. Call the show toll free 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. Hey, local bands and unsigned artists. What if I told you there was a place in Cleveland where you can get your merch made and have it sold in one location? What if I said you could bring your CDs and tickets to upcoming shows to this location? And what if I said you could do live acoustic sets at this location? I bet you're thinking there's no such place in Cleveland. Guess what? You'd be wrong. Contact Rick Navario at Rock City, Cleveland, and tell him you need merch made and you want to sell it in his store. Now, how cool is that? You can tell your fans to come down and get your stuff, and I think he'd ship your products to your fans. And he's local. Contact Rick Navario at Rock City, Cleveland today. 216-622-0377. That's 216-622-0377. With hundreds of live weather products and layers and thousands of combinations, Weather Studio provides a professional graphics and store monitoring solution without complex user knowledge and without the industry standard price tag of $1,000 plus broadcast systems. Weather Studio displays a plethora of critical atmospheric and geophysical data on an interactive GIS-enabled computer map. Get your free 14-day trial of Weather Studio at their website, weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. That's weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningshowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com. Oh, great. Not another Farm Bill request. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Morning Show Central. Denying one Farm Bill request at a time.
And welcome back to High on Sports. I am Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Ashley.
And I'm Von Erich.
And whether you are listening to us tonight on your computer or on one of the many glorious apps, thank you for making High on Sports a part of your evening. Remember, if you are not on one of the many glorious apps, simply take your smartphone and go to the App Store. I should have known that word. App Store, and search for TuneIn Radio. It is free to download. Just install it. Search MSC. You are listening to us live on the go from your phone, wherever you may be. Maybe you're on one of those stupid new iPhones with the colors. God. I don't want.
I heard they break easily.
I bet they do when you smash them because they're so stupid. I would buy one and snap it in half and throw it into traffic.
All the iPhones break easily, but if you get the colored one, you wouldn't want to put it in a case because it's all colorful and pretty. And then clearly it's gonna break easy. Like if I didn't have the outer box on my iPhone, the thing would probably be in 35 pieces by now.
This is not even remotely close to the types of things we're supposed to talk about. But I think it's stupid that they're making you buy a new one so that this one can be blue instead.
Well, just get a blue case.
Get over it.
Just get a different color case.
Get over it.
That's what I'm doing.
God.
Because you gotta put
the Twitter is at high_on_sports, or use the hashtag #HighOnSports. You can also hashtag on Facebook. It's like they're joining together. Facebook.com/HighOnSports is the fan page. Give it a like. You will get breaking news every day about scores and videos and some memes and things that are funny and sometimes things that make you feel, because that's what we're here to do. Again, Facebook.com/HighOnSports. HighOnSports.net is the website. It's got the archive of all our past shows. My blog, as well as it's about to be a shared blog, as we'll have a new blogger joining the show this week. More on that, I guess, later. Not necessarily today, but more on that next week and stuff. And on the Facebook, of course. Online, you'll also hear more about it as well. Shoot. Again, HighOnSports.net. All right, it is a jam-packed second half, so let's get right into it. It is round 2. Let's go. All right, it is time for a staple of High on Sports. Remember, by the way, as I do it, as I forgot to do it earlier, not Facebook, morningshowcentral.com/watch is the chat room. You can put any name you want to log into the chat room. No password required. Sorry, I'm just a little confused because I think I just joined as Ralphie, but someone's in here as host. So that's puzzling me. Anyways.
It's an imposter.
It's an imposter. Do not listen to host. Listen to Ralphie. Anyways, hi hosts, whoever you are. Who was my friend? Is my friend still there? The one that agreed with me?
Oh, that guy.
He kind of said his comment and then left. I think he feared for his life.
What was his name?
That guy.
Oh, I know him.
I'll read his comment out. Let me scroll down here.
What did he say? It's my buddy.
I was going to go in there and be like, go F yourself.
In regards to the
Terrible.
Trent Richardson trade, he states, I also think it was a good move. Running backs usually don't fetch offers as high as first-round picks. They're a dime a dozen. And then he left.
And we would have had to trade 11 more running backs.
He said what he had to say, and
that's typical that guy.
He's gone.
He's right to the point. He's not going to dilly-dally. I like that guy.
I'm scared because
I
was about to come in and
we're on the same team.
make him cry.
We're a team, that guy, me and that guy. Join in next week for Ralphie and that guy show.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, you're
is that
driving
on
next week.
Sundays?
Oh, okay.
All right, well, anyways, it's time for a stable of High Sports, and that is, of course, what's urinating us off. And as I said, we have a very special one here, where Von Erich and I, and I'm assuming you're going to get in on this, too.
I mean, I can make a word or two.
Have a big team one. Like, there's a thing in prison called a blanket party, where you'd throw a blanket on someone, and then while the blanket's on them, you all beat them
with bars of soap.
Wrapped
in a smaller towel.
Any kind of dense or heavy object one could get into a prison. Well, that's what this is. This story, we're putting a blanket on and beating it with, bars of soap. Us not being in prison have access to heavier things. like bats and clubs and such. So we'll be using that. But anyways, Von Erich, why don't you start this one off for us? I'm assuming you have the list on you, or at least
I have it right here.
Go ahead.
Well, when I came home one day, got the mail, had a magazine waiting for me. It's called like...
They still make those?
It's like Espen or something like that.
It's a Dutch word, I think.
Yeah. And they came out with a list. I guess they're pretty respected in the world of sports. Huh. And they ranked all 122 professional sports franchises from the 4 major sports, every single team.
There's only 122?
Yeah, well, you figure 30 in each league, plus a couple extra in football.
30,
60,
30, and 32. Yeah.
Yep.
It would be 120, but then you got 2 extra with the most 2 recent teams, which I guess would be the Browns and the Texans.
Yeah,
if you think about it, but go on.
Not exactly sure how they made the rankings.
Yeah, I don't get it. Is it value?
I didn't really read the article. Like we said earlier, it is a magazine. We're not gonna freaking read this stupid thing.
If you can't tweet the information to me, it's not worth my time.
There's many issues on here. This is why we're taking a group approach to this urinating off. I'll just start with one glaring. Well, number 1 was the Memphis Grizzlies, a team that hasn't really been around for more than a couple decades. Less than that, maybe even 10 to 15 years.
And they've never even been to
they
the
were in the Western Conference Finals.
Like never even there.
I just want to know exactly how they came up with this.
The first 4 teams are all basketball teams. I'll give you the first 5. Number 1, the Grizzlies. 2, the Spurs.
I'll agree with
3,
that one.
Indiana Pacers.
Nope.
Number 4, Oklahoma City Thunder. And number 5, the first football team, the Green Bay Packers.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, the Spurs make sense.
I get Packers and Thunders being high. Packers and Thunder being high.
They just need to change their name. I don't like Thunder.
And well, I mean, I was gonna say Spurs, Packers and Spurs. I could see a case for the Thunder. Obviously, they just went to a finals. They're young. They
made a lot of good moves in the draft. Okay.
They've got 2 bona fide superstars. Sure, give them that. But
I'm not really sure why the Grizzlies are 1.
What are the Pacers doing here? They just signed up, secured Paul George, by the way.
They did $90 million?
It's about to be announced that that is a
$90 million deal.
First Cleveland team on the list would be the Indians, coming in at number 44.
I get that, as they currently are close to securing a playoff spot. I would get them being above the rest.
Rank coming at number 60.
They got Kyrie Irving. They've got promise. They've got hype around them.
Was it just for the last year?
Is it going into their next seasons or previous seasons?
Is it or like franchise history?
This can't be like ever, because
because then the Lakers
are
would be
1,
on top.
Cowboys are 2.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yankees,
Steelers are 3. Unfortunately,
the list is advertised.
They don't get ranked.
They would be up pretty.
They don't get ranked.
Go on, Vonner.
The list is advertised as the best franchises in sports.
So it has to be right now.
That's just.
It has to be now.
It has to be.
Because can I tell you who the most famous Grizzly is? Peyton Manning and Justin Timberlake, because they both own a small percentage. No one else. They do, fun fact.
I'm like, who the hell?
Nobody else. Nobody else is famous or relevant at all.
No.
Zach Randolph? Who's that dude? Why am I forgetting his name? The Spaniard. Didn't he just win Defensive Player of the Year? The tall guy. Come on, his brother's a Laker.
Pau Gasol. No, the other Gasol.
Yeah, Pau Gasol's little brother.
Mark.
Is his name.
Mark, hey, intern.
On the back of his jersey, it says Pau Gasol's little brother.
Yeah.
See, I don't think it's
the irrelevant one.
Best franchises right now, because they have teams like the Jaguars ranked 75 over a team like the Lakers, who are just a couple below them.
It can't be right now, because the Jaguars are terrible.
Unless they're truly crapping on the Lakers, in that Kobe might not be ready to go, and even if he is, he's going to have his leg just sort of hanging on.
Jacksonville may not win a game in the next 15 years.
They're
so bad.
Maybe ESPN thinks the Lakers won't win a game this year.
There's so many teams
just lost Dwight
behind the Jaguars, though.
That is messed up.
There's the Arizona Cardinals, St. Louis Rams, the Redskins, the Chiefs,
the Redskins,
the Bears.
The Redskins just went to the
Bengals,
playoffs.
Dolphins.
The Bears? The Bears.
Cowboys at 107. I don't know what Espen is doing.
Time out.
I'm just going to pass this list over to you guys because I'm done looking at it.
I think I know what they did. Because everything has to be fair and politically correct, and you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I think they put all the names into a hat, and they just drew.
And they picked randomly. That's what makes the most sense.
Because obviously they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and be like, oh, we think this team's better. They said, okay, we're going to be as fair as we can about this so nobody goes home and cries, and we just pick names out of a hat. Because other than that, it makes no sense.
Now,
I'm so confused.
when you look at the end, I get it. Sacramento Kings, I'm sorry. New York Jets, butt fumble. Miami Marlins,
okay,
come on.
see, the last three are the only ones in that list that freaking
Toronto
make sense.
Maple Leafs, maybe. I don't know what their
Didn't
record
they
is.
just go to the
That's one of
Stanley
the
Cup?
8 original teams from the NHL.
I'll tell you what I know about the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's that they are one of the 8 original teams in the NHL, which I just learned now.
It might have been 6 original teams. I'm not really sure.
Just did it? So, is a
Where's
Canadian
Robin
team
when you need
just
her?
go to the...
Don't even worry about it. Oh my god, that was old school high on sports. Anyways,
But I want to really
Phoenix
know
Suns,
how
Houston
they came up with
Astros,
this.
Oakland Raiders, some of these bottom dwellers I get. But I mean, look at these guys on the top. Like, God, I mean, this is not even right. I can't even. First of all, let me see what's really irritating me personally off about this is that they did it. Period.
Yeah.
What is the point? You are supposed to be. You exist, ESPN, as you do provide a good service to the world, kind of. 24/7, I can turn on your channel to see highlights of sports stuff. Although because of the internet, I kind of don't need you at all anymore because I can Google what the hell happened in the game last night. And I could go Google Toronto Maple Leafs and know everything about them by next week. I won't because I don't care. But the point is, at least there's a channel that is 24/7 sports all day, every day, constantly.
Every day?
I did that, yes. I did that on purpose, so. But
I know.
But this kind of stuff.
It does.
It's like, why are you doing this? What is the point? You just want to alienate anyone in Sacramento, New Jersey, Miami, Toronto, Phoenix, Houston, Oakland, San Diego, Milwaukee, Washington, Chicago, Detroit?
I don't get how they did it, though. What the hell makes the Memphis Grizzlies the best franchise in sports? Like, it has to be. See, that's why it doesn't make any sense. Because if it's right now, then maybe, yeah, because they almost went to the NBA Finals, blah-de-blah-de-blah, last year. But then why the hell is Jacksonville in the middle?
But there's no reason why Jacksonville should be ahead of.
Yeah, if it's right now.
LA Lakers.
Then if you go over, like, a broad just franchise history... Okay, maybe put Jacksonville in the middle because they used to be okay. But then why in God's name would Memphis be at the top? Did they go certain teams?
Even if, let's say we're considering, even if we just look at a basis of consider like past Jacksonville is just what they would consider crap, right? I'll even maybe see that they predict the Lakers will not do very well and stuff. But like, why should a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, when are we ranking this from? The Kansas City Chiefs are 3-0. Obviously, they put this magazine earlier, but come on.
Yeah, clearly it's not.
The Chicago Bears and stuff like this. The Boston Red Sox are in the playoffs. The New York Yankees. I think they're overrated, but not here. I mean, come on.
That's what I think is like some teams. They said for right now, yeah, they're one of the best run, and then other teams they went over like their history. I don't understand.
Even if you're looking at just last year, right? The Washington Redskins. The Washington Redskins.
Yeah, if you're looking at just last year.
Lower than Jacksonville.
I don't understand who
what
came
have
up
you
with this.
done?
I really want to know what Nimrod came up with this order.
I'll tell you what they did. They crapped on a piece of paper and sent it through a photocopier, and that's what you're holding in your hand right now.
It's the only
Did the
logical
Redskins
explanation.
just get ranked lower because their name is racist?
I don't know.
That happened before on a list of top baseball logos. The Indians were at the very bottom because their logo was racist.
I'm getting sick of all this crap about hating on sports teams' names. Be glad you got named after a sports team. Or your sports team got named after you. However the hell I'm trying to say that.
The Indians are ahead of them. So, I mean, and granted, Indians would be less racist than Redskins, but...
I don't care.
The point
Not
was
our logo.
No, not the logo.
That's a different story.
That's another issue for
The
another
Redskins
day.
logo, that's a proud warrior. Us?
Hey,
That's
don't hate on Chief Wahoo.
No, I'm telling you right now.
Do not hate on Chief Wahoo.
3 years from now, they're not the Indians. That's what I'm saying. Anyway,
You know what? All you politically correct assholes can blow it out your butt.
I'm not saying anything about politically correct one way or the other. I'm saying just how it's
Oh
gonna
my
be.
God.
I'm not saying let's fight
I'm
right now to get a
offended.
change.
No.
Whatever. Who cares?
If a team
But-
was named the Whiteys, I wouldn't give a crap.
Yeah, because they would suck. Just saying. Anyways,
What?
I mean,
Why would they suck?
maybe some sports they might be good at, but anyways, the point is this ranking system is just
It makes no sense.
there is no system. Maybe that's the system.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was done randomly.
All right, Indians. Let's talk Indians. Indians, by the way, since they've come up, the Indians are currently. What is the current lead here? We have game and a half, I believe.
Texas is playing
Let me check.
tonight.
I've got our
We're
magic.
game and a half up on Texas
magic
for the
numbers.
number 2 spot.
1.5 up on Texas, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
here's how it's gonna work. Here is the American League wildcard race. Houston out, Chicago out, Minnesota, Seattle, Toronto, LA Angels out. Our magic number over Baltimore is 3. Our magic number over the Yankees is 3. Our magic number over Kansas City is 4, and the magic number over Texas is 6. So Texas is the one where this Texas, Tampa, and Cleveland. This is going to
be a
go
race to
down to
finish.
the wire. Texas tonight. They play
8:05 at home against Houston.
oh no!
Yeah.
The Moon Men.
My new favorite team.
Either way, obviously Tampa Bay was losing today. Then they came back and won it in walk-off fashion. Manny Machado for the Orioles down for the count. Ouch.
Possible torn ACL.
That's the second big loss this weekend as far as an injury goes of a team that is right on the edge of getting in there. CC Sabathia shut down for the Yankees. And now Manny Machado almost definitely done for the year. What little
Probably
year-
done for all of next year as well.
Oh, God, that sucks to think about. This is a guy who hasn't gotten the hype, but is, in my opinion and many others, of a Mike Troutian-esque promise to this guy as far as a young gun coming in here and not developing, but just coming in and kicking the league's ass. That really sucks. Sorry, Baltimore. Sorry. At least, well, they still have Chris Davis. He's still, he's slowed down, man. Slowed down in the second half.
Got over 50 dongers, though.
That's a lot of dongs. But, I mean, he's slowed down in the second half. The first half, wasn't he at 30-something, almost 40 by the first half? I don't know. 3 up, 3 down, rapid fire edition, because then it is time for everything in between with your host, Von Erich. Down number 3, I just said it, the New York Yankees. I'll throw in the Orioles, too. Lose CC Sabathia and Manny Machado for the rest of the year. And now, of course, as we said with Manny, possibly next year, too. Down number 2, Cardinals safety Rashad Johnson. You think you had a bad day. He took off his glove after a tackle against the Saints and found a big old piece of his finger stayed in the
So
glove.
gross.
They did surgery to prevent infection, but he is now missing his middle
The
finger
top.
on the left hand from the knuckle up. So
That sucks.
that's interesting. Down number 1, Alden Smith, 49ers linebacker, out indefinitely after DUI and drug possession. Drug possession maybe not true, actually. I've heard some sources denying that. But either way, potential DUI. Could have hurt somebody. They played him, too. That's interesting. Up number 3. You know what? I'm switching that, by the way. You lost a finger. You're number 1. Up number 3, Sacramento Kings. Lakers great Shaquille O'Neal has just bought a share of your team. But ESPN says you're the worst franchise to ever happen. Up number 2, Indiana Pacers. Reportedly set to lock up forward Paul George with a max contract. I heard a lot of people factoring him into the Lakers' plans. Like, oh, the
Not
Lakers will just
now.
add Paul George. And nah. Up number 1, the LA Dodgers, Boston Red Sox, Oakland Athletics, and Atlanta Braves all clinched their divisions this week. Enjoy the playoffs. It couldn't have ended at a better time. All right. That's going to do it for us this week. As I said, right after this show is Everything in Between with your host, Von Erich.
That's me.
So for Chris, for Von Erich, for Ashley, I am Robbie saying good night, everybody.
What is
we'll
wrong
see
with
you
these
next
mics
week.
today? You're just all jacked up. Mine
Same
just falls
time,
down, so-
I
same
gotta use
place.
that thing
Thanks for
now?
listening to High on Sports
I don't
on
think I want to.
MorningShowCentral.com.
Good night.